and the total numbers could increase. Animal rights activists broke into the Rigland Park Farms on Saturday morning, one day ahead of what was originally scheduled break-in.
Their goal is to remove 2,000 dogs from the Dane County dog breeding facility. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the protest is, quote, not peaceful, consisting of at least 300 activists using vehicles, break-in tools, and ladders to breach the fence. Deputies have arrested Wayne Husing, the leader of the movement who organized last month's raid that resulted in the removal of 20 dogs. Ridgeland Farms breeds beagles for biomedical research. It's been in business for 60 years. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Driveway paving scams becoming increasingly common as the weather warms up. Senior Director with the BBB, Lisa Schiller, says it can take homeowners a long time to realize they've been scammed. She tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
I mean, first of all, an unsolicited knock on the door. Somebody saying, hey, Jessica, by the way, your driveway doesn't look so great. I happen to be in the area. I did some work. They'll point down the block. See that house over there? I just got done doing their driveway. We have leftover material, and I can do the job right now. I can start, and I can give you a great price.
Schiller says to avoid scams, ask for a business card, contact info, or a seller's permit. The Wisconsin Center District is still considering whether or not to pursue building a convention center hotel in downtown Milwaukee.
The committee tasked with combing through data on a best use study published this year met for the final time on Thursday. That committee says the district should at least study the long-term feasibility of the theoretical 650-plus room hotel. Wauwatosa Mayor and committee member Dennis McBride.
Our vision and leadership seems to have died off. People have stopped dreaming big dreams about Milwaukee. We should think big about Milwaukee.
The full board will hear the committee's recommendation at their next meeting on May 15th. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
CBS's Stacey Lynn reports your barbecues will likely be more expensive this summer.
The conflict in the Middle East has been driving up global energy prices, and that's escalating the cost of propane for grills, along with gasoline and diesel used to transport food. Those higher fuel costs are just part of the problem. Beef prices are also on the rise. The U.S. cattle herd is now at its smallest size in 75 years, following years of drought, rising costs, and an aging ranching workforce. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:04.
Business owners
and right-hand men and women.
When you make the catering call for your office gathering,
make it Marty's Pizza.
For pizza, pasta, subs, wings, appetizers, and more.
Delivered in our heated oven delivery trucks.
Our catering delivery range has expanded
all the way east into Brookfield.
Just log on to martyspizza.net for easy online ordering.
Or give us a call at 262-646-3327. 262-646-3327.
Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Milwaukee Brewers are on a 4-game win streak, now up 2-0 on the Marlins. They look to close out the series in the final game of the series against Miami with first pitch today at 12:40. The NFL draft is this week, but with no first-round pick for the Green Bay Packers due to the blockbuster Micah Parsons trade. Instead, they'll pick first with their 52nd overall second-round pick. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No major issues or delays currently on your morning commute.
Traffic is sponsored by Angela Calais and Benefit Realty.
At Benefit Realty, pay only 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission and get all the service that you should. Benefit Realty, you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, flurries early, then clearing and cool with a high of 48. Tonight, clear, cold with frost possible and a low of 32. Monday, tomorrow, mostly sunny and cool with a high of 42. Tuesday, mostly sunny and mild with a high of 73. And Wednesday, mostly sunny, cooler near the lake and a high of 74. Right now in Madison, it's 38, Green Bay 35, Waukesha 38, and in Milwaukee 38 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 8:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins.
Got a busy show ahead. I'm going to tell you all about it in just a minute. We've got Nazir Spencer here. And Nazir, how many tornadoes on Friday?
7, at least 7 confirmed in southeast Wisconsin, and a lot throughout the state. I think about 13 at least.
And then we had how many on Tuesday?
Tuesday we had, I don't know the exact number, but Tuesday we had a lot as well. I think it was more towards 5 in the southeast.
Well, I know
region.
you've spent your week.
Yeah.
The newsroom's just been overwhelmed, especially with the weather issues and then some of the other stories, of course, you're covering. But you were out on a lot of these sites where the tornadoes struck.
Right.
What did you see?
Yeah, so I was in Sussex the other day at the Presbyterian Church in Sussex, Lisbon area. And that's where it was a lot of destruction in the industrial area across the highway as well. But specifically that area, the church had, the debris was everywhere. There was a hole in the roof and everything. There was just trees taken out of the ground. There's trees
literally lift up from the ground.
Yeah, lifted up from the ground. The neighborhood across the street also suffered a lot of damage. There were homes across the street from the church that had branches all in their front yard. Trees were in their front yard and their backyards, of course. But the front was a lot more catastrophic than the back, from what I saw, at least.
So it appeared that the tornado had come from that direction? Then?
Yes, it seemed like it, and you could tell that there were pieces of that church. That church has been around since like the 1800s.
Right.
So it was just scattered across all of that area. There were workers everywhere trying to make sure that all that debris was not anywhere near some, the residents living there anymore. So it was a lot, and there were a lot of other damages across the region as well. But
did you talk to any of the people who sat out that storm during those hours?
So I talked to the church, one of the bookers at the church, one of the elders there, and she was telling me that they were all in the basement at their homes as well. I talked to the pastor of the church as well, and they were not. They were in different areas. They weren't in the Sussex area, but they heard about the news, and they saw that the damage was done mainly to their church in that area, especially because the industrial area across the street as well suffered a lot. There was damage everywhere, trees all in the middle of the road, just parts of the building. Inside the building, there was how they have their equipment. Some stuff was outside from tornadoes.
Just blew completely out.
Blew out of their building. So it was a rough week last week.
Had you ever seen a scene like that before?
I haven't seen anything like that because I haven't really covered too many tornadoes. But the flooding from last year, it kind of gave me.
Well, we remember that.
Yeah, we remember that. We remember that. that was one of the. It kind of gave me a little bit of flashback. Like, oh wow, it's bad. But I didn't want to compare it to the flooding because that was historic. So. It was still pretty bad, though.
Well, sure. Again, I think that the fact that we've had so many tornadoes in such a short time.
Right. Yeah.
I don't remember anything like this, ever.
I was, I was talking to a few of my buddies that also work in the news industry, and they're, everyone in their newsroom was like just panicked out in the Madison area. And
Madison really got hit.
Madison got hit pretty bad. So everyone over there was, panicking heavy, and it was a lot of people over here kind of panicking as well, but. People are kind of used to the Wisconsin weather at this point, so they're prepared.
But the weird thing is, this is not typical Wisconsin weather.
This isn't typical. It's just, people.
We're used to that snow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the snow kind of helps you prepare for stuff like this a little bit. Just make sure to be a little bit more safe this time around.
Well, next hour for New at 9, we're going to be talking with TMJ4's new weekend meteorologist, Jacob Montesano. He's going to break this down for us and tell us where these tornadoes really did the most damage and why we're seeing so many of them, and explaining, you've heard EF.
Yeah.
Do you know what that really means?
I don't know exactly what the term means. But
We're gonna find out here
Yeah.
in the next hour. But it was one of those things. Actually, I did go to the basement.
Yeah.
On Friday
Yeah,
night.
you got to.
It was one of those things. I thought, no, maybe we better go down there.
Yeah, you gotta
And
be
my
prepared.
husband was prepared with flashlights and everything. All right, Nazir, well, keep us posted on all of that, and I know you'll be joining us throughout the morning. And as I just said, that meteorologist Jacob Montesano from TMJ4 will be with us next hour to discuss this. And with all these tornadoes this past week, have you ever wondered about those brave folks who follow the storm's path? Well, WTMJ's Debbie Loziga is going to take a look at storm chasers, and we'll hear from her later on this morning. Also, we're going to hear about your newly minted college grad entering the real world. How prepared is he or she for what they need to know about their finances? Well, we'll talk about that and give them some tips on what they should know. Also, Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, is going to join us. He's going to share what we need to know about the new leader of the Medical College of Wisconsin, and what an interesting person he is. Plus, he's going to tell us what Dr. John Raymond is going to be doing next. And of course, we've heard from Dr. Raymond on WTMJ for so many years. I think we're all interested in his future. Also, our consumer expert is here with a warning about fake lottery scams. Sandy Max has some highlights about the Milwaukee Film Festival. We're also going to take a look back at the week in review. As we said, Nazir's in the newsroom. Isaac's here pushing all those buttons. And in just a couple minutes, we're going to break down your WTMJ forecast. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. It's 8:13, and it's a chilly 36 degrees.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Give me an extra large deep dish pepperoni.
Hasselus doesn't sell pizza. We sell mattresses for way less.
Do I need a coupon?
No, sir. Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,459. But Hasselus has it for just $794.
Running any specials?
Through Monday, save an additional $248 on a new Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic just for shopping local.
Do you deliver?
Free next day delivery.
I'm really hungry.
Hasselus.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Is your life stuck in constant stress mode? Headaches, poor sleep, constant tension. Vince Vitrano for Connect Chiropractic, my team that can help, not just mask symptoms, but find the root cause. Connect Chiro specializes in neurologically focused chiropractic care, helping your nervous system function the way it's designed so your body can heal, adapt, and perform at its best. Helping our community live healthier, more energized lives. Go connectchiro.com.
Well, weather has been the news all week long. The good news is this morning, it's looking better. A lot better, as a matter of fact. It's chilly out there. I mean, if you are taking the dog out first thing here in the morning, you're going to feel it. It's nothing like those temperatures we had earlier in the week, because our high today is only going to be about 45 degrees. And as I was just telling you, maybe a few flurries where you are this morning as well. Tomorrow looks a little bit better with a high temperature of 50 degrees. Tomorrow, or on Tuesday, I should say, it's going to be fair. And finally, we'll see a little bit of sun getting back up around 69. On Wednesday, sunny with 57 for a high. And on Thursday, finally, we get back into the 70s with a few clouds in the sky. But did you notice the one thing I said? Did you notice anything, Isaac? Anything I said that sounded unusual about the weather?
No.
I didn't say anything about rain.
There you go.
I didn't say anything about rain. So hopefully this is it, at least for the time being, because I think we've got more water out there than we know what to do with. Those temperatures currently in Kenosha, we have 38 degrees. Oconomowoc at 36. Cedarburg, you have 36. And at WTMJ, it's 37 degrees at 8:17. Coming up next, we're going to check in with Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And do you know, have you heard about all of these foreign companies that are investing here in southeastern Wisconsin? Well, there's another one, and we'll tell you what it is after this.
Picture this, a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick 9 after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone, year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
Need help but don't know where to turn? Contact 211 Wisconsin today. Whether it's finding food, housing assistance, mental health support, help with addiction, or more, 211 Wisconsin is available for free 24/7 to connect you with thousands of local programs and services. Dial 211 on your phone. You can also chat with a specialist on 211wisconsin.org or install the 211 app. Help is closer than you think. Sponsored by 211 Wisconsin.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call for your free weight loss consultation. 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
It's time to check in with Timothy Gibbons. He is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And Tim, exciting news for the Medical College of Wisconsin. You know, Dr. John Raymond has been such a fixture there for so many years. And this week, they announced who's going to be replacing him.
Exactly. Yeah, he has been such a towering figure locally, Dr. Raymond has been. So his replacement as CEO of the Medical College is a internal hire, a internal promotion, a Dr. Shakur Kapard, who has been there for many years, involved in many different things, and he will be taking the reins.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about Dr. Kapard and exactly who he is and what department he worked in for so many years.
Yeah, so he's a neurosurgeon, and one of the things that always amazes me, and it's the same with Dr. Raymond, where the skill set combination that these individuals have is just kind of astounding, where they do clinical work, they do research work, and they do administrative work, and those feel like three very, very different things. So Dr. Kapard has served as chief of neurosurgery at the VA Medical Center. He did 15,000 surgical procedures and published 150 papers, so very much in both the research side of things, which is something you want at a medical college, and the clinical side of things, which obviously is important in training future doctors. He's also helped fundraise and lead the Neuroscience Institute and things like that.
So when will the actual transition take place?
So it's going to happen over the summer. So we've known for a while that Dr. Raymond was stepping down. So the big question had been who his replacement was going to be, and he starts effective July 1st.
Any word on what Dr. Raymond intends to do in the future?
He's going to go back to doing clinical work. He's a nephrologist, which is a kidney doctor.
Well, it'll be nice to know that Dr. Raymond is still in the area and doing that great work. Let's move on. This is kind of interesting out of South Milwaukee, where they were offering businesses the opportunity to have free rent, and they finally made some decisions about who's going to get that chance.
They did. It was a competition, and it's a fascinating little thing. So it came out of the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where there's a student group there that has done this similar project in other communities, and it's seen as a way of doing particularly downtown revitalization. So you basically find vacant storefronts that it would be good for the city's tax base to have them occupied, and then working with a nonprofit that helps with the funding, you find businesses, you give them a year's worth of free rent, you help with the build out, you get these businesses started, which obviously is huge for the businesses, but it's also important for the community because now you have more businesses, you have more foot traffic, you have all of those good things. So in South Milwaukee's case, 9 businesses applied. They had several hundred people voted online to help narrow it down to Gnome Restaurant and Seven Bridges Record Lounge. So 2 nice consumery sort of things that should drive some traffic to the Milwaukee Avenue space where these where they will locate.
Well, they both have intriguing names. Any idea of how they're going to conduct their businesses? You mentioned the Gnome, spelled like the little creature, the gnome, restaurant, and Seven Bridges Record Lounge. What's their concept going to be?
So Gnome is going to be offering lunch and dinner. It's kind of focused on local Wisconsin ingredients. The people behind that have their own urban garden. So they're going to have, this kind of thoughtfully designed sort of food. And then the Record Lounge is it's going to have listening stations, special acoustic sort of things. There'll be a coffee bar, and it's a hangout place. It's stage for local musicians. People can check out vinyl records, things like that.
I love the idea that they're going to check out vinyl records. I know Vince and Eric were talking about that on Friday and how the young people are back into vinyl.
So an interesting stat I heard years ago, which I don't know if it's still true anymore, but there were more vinyl records sold than record players. And at some point, people got into vinyl, even if they don't actually necessarily listen to, they don't necessarily even have a record player. But yeah, the younger generation, there's some interesting studies on them actually liking physical objects. Of course, I hope that means that, print newspapers come back to the fore.
You never know, Tim. It could happen. We are talking with Tim Givens. He is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And we've been talking a lot over the last several weeks about foreign companies that are investing right here in southeastern Wisconsin. And now there's another one from France.
Yeah, it's a contract logistics company, and it's renting this massive warehouse in Germantown. And what I find really fascinating about this is what it says about the strength of the local industrial market. So this 375,000 square foot distribution center was built without having a tenant in mind. They call that spec development. And obviously it's kind of risky, but with Waukesha County having something like a 4.1% vacancy rate for industrial properties, they figured they could find a tenant, and they did. So this French contract logistics company will be renting it on behalf of a manufacturer of C4 energy drinks, which is just growing in leaps and bounds.
And then, of course, there's another Germantown manufacturer that's expanding a bit too.
Yeah, Germantown's a happening place these days. So the city of Hartford is considering a proposal from Wisconsin Stamping and Manufacturing, whose main plant is in Germantown, for a new operation in Hartford. They want to build an 80,000 square foot building, which they could actually double in size if everything goes well. About a $9 million project that would employ a couple dozen people in this stamping business.
Let's move on to convention hotels, another subject we've been covering quite a bit. And it all comes down to they need to know more and study more, right?
Yes, because that is what, everybody is looking for from government or quasi-government agencies is we need another study. So there's been some consternation around this. We've talked about it a couple of times where the people behind the Baird Center are looking around and have a consultant who has told them, as has been said since the Baird Center expansion was done, that what the city needs is a purpose-built convention center hotel, that a site that would increase the number of rooms available and would very much be tied into the hotel. The issues with that are the hotel operators here now say, look, business is kind of rough. Having particularly a subsidized competitor come into the market would make things even tougher. So a lot of consternation around should they do it, how would it be funded, where do they go next? The Wisconsin Center District, which owns the convention center, has spent the past several months discussing this, and the upshot is everybody's in agreement that it would be great to have this. Nobody really knows how to do it. Nobody really knows how to get the political will together. financing, particularly in today's interest rate environment, would be difficult. Where should it go is a contentious question. So the upshot is basically keep on studying.
Oh, you can never have enough studies, as you said. All right, finally, Tim, you have some Gouda news for us.
I knew you could not pass up a cheese pun. So this fits in nicely with when we're talking about the convention center business. So one of the things that the Baird Center in the Wisconsin Center District has really been talking about since that opened is having this space lets them get these just, large expos. So this past week, a record number of exhibitors showed up for the largest expo at the Baird Center since the 2024 expansion. 4,000 leaders from around the world in the dairy industry. It was the Cheese Expo. It's been held there before. It happens every 2 years. They have it in Milwaukee, but this one was just a huge step up in terms of the number of people, the amount of equipment that they brought in, a really large scale sort of thing.
And think of all the cheese samples.
We were talking about this story, and that was the question from one of the reporters. They're like, can you show up and get cheese samples? And the answer is no, just in case you were wondering.
Oh, no. I was hoping.
I know. You got to get that cheddar.
Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. It's always great to have you here, Tim.
You as well.
It's 8:27, and, it's chilly. 36 degrees out there.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Spring into better vision at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. All starts with a comprehensive eye exam from a skilled optometrist. Takes a look at your eye health and overall well-being. Need glasses, contacts, maybe both? At Shopko Optical, get expert care and the perfect eyewear for your lifestyle, all in one convenient visit. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I go to the one at Hales Corners. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical, partners in your eye care.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources. Help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need. They help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
We all like to get those tickets from the lottery. But are you aware that there are people out there trying to scam you even with that? And we're going to talk about it here in the next half hour. But first, it's 8:30, and we've got Nazir Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center, and there was a fatal shooting again last night, Nazir.
Yes, thank you, Libby. A 28-year-old is dead after a shooting on Milwaukee's south side. According to the Milwaukee Police Department, it happened around 1:40 this morning near 13th and Burnham. The victim was shot and pronounced dead at the scene. Suspects are being searched for as the investigation continues ongoing. A house fire started at an abandoned home in Milwaukee during severe storms on Friday night. The home near North 10th Street and West Abbott Place appeared to be vacant. Milwaukee Fire Department says that lightning struck part of the roof and no one was injured. Planning ahead for future flood events in the Milwaukee area is the focus of a newly created joint task force. The effort announced Friday between the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, and the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District will explore options for investing in more flood-resistant infrastructure. The group will hold its first meeting in the coming days and anticipates producing recommendations later this year. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic, a few disabled vehicles along I-41, specifically in Kenosha and Racine County. No major issues or delays. Just be mindful of those when you're driving on your morning commute.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Here's your WTMJ forecast. Today, flurries early, then clearing and cool with a high of 48. Tonight, clear and cold with frost possible and a low of 32. Monday, mostly sunny and cool with a high of 42. Tuesday, mostly sunny and mild with a high of 73. Wednesday, mostly sunny, cooler near the lake and a high of 74. Right now in Madison, it is 38. Green Bay, 35. Waukesha, 38. And in Milwaukee, 39 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:32.
Thanks a lot, Nazir. And coming up in just 2 minutes, we've got the Week in Review. It's all brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Buying a car, it's a really big deal. It's a big investment, and the process should be easy and stress-free. That's what you get at Griffin's Hub Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Milwaukee. If you've been thinking about a Jeep, this is the place to go, and they're beautiful vehicles. Griffin's Hub has an incredible lineup, including the Jeep Wrangler, America's legend, available in both 2-door and 4-door, all the colors, all the trim packages, and the Jeep Grand Cherokee and Grand Cherokee L, perfect for families who still want that rugged capability. That's such a fun vehicle. And check out the 2026 Jeep Compass. Your Compass definitely points to Griffin's Hub on South 27th Street. Believe me, they're going to take great care of you. They've got hundreds of vehicles in stock and something for every lifestyle. Stop in and see why so many people, myself included, keep going back to Griffin. The sales department, I completely trust. They're efficient. They're easy. They're going to take great care of you. Griffin's Hub in Milwaukee. Stop by the Hub today. Say hi to Jim Griffin.
And welcome back to the second half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. It's 8:35 on WTMJ. I'm Libby Collins. It's been a week. Boy, has it been a week. We certainly know that here at the radio station. You know, Mac and Doc stepped down. We heard about the Pope and the presidential feud. And we had quite a week as far as severe weather was concerned. It's a Week in Review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
Chris McIntosh, done. The Wisconsin athletic director leaving his job.
I have one name that I would look at if I was the Badgers, Mark Tauscher.
What we would need is Evan would need to become the chancellor for that to probably happen.
Pope Leo says he is not afraid of the Trump administration after criticism from President Trump over the weekend.
Do you think he is trying to poke the bear a little bit?
Yeah, don't mess with the Pope. Doc Rivers to the Milwaukee Bucks makes a lot of sense.
Until it didn't.
Buckle up. It is Severe Weather Awareness Week in Wisconsin, and we are aware. A lot of folks woken up in the night to the sound of those sirens. Tornado warnings popping all over southeast Wisconsin.
Brookfield Alderman Chris Seals now has resigned over some really horrific.
When people use this type of violent rhetoric, it's not just Muslims who can be targeted in acts of violence. It is people who can be confused for being Muslim.
Did you notice the date today? Are you celebrating? It is 414 Day.
Who out there wants to rock this thing and turn it into a New Year's Eve ball drop?
Dr. John Raymond, the president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, and he is with us this afternoon. Tell us about the new president.
His name's Dr. Sheikh Kirpad, and he's just an all-around amazing human being. He's someone that we should all be proud of, and he'll be starting July 1.
The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning. Ping pong ball size hail reported over Sussex.
I'm not telling you not to vote for him. Don't let this idea that the governor can freeze your utility rates be the reason, because it doesn't work like that.
Energy rates have gone up 50%. Like, this is the real problem.
You'd rather having us focus on the latter.
Trevor, ground ball left side, base hit.
But the fans booing him, kid that's been through all that he's been through, that's just not our best fans, that's for sure.
I just don't think you're helping anything. Like, what are you doing? Like, making yourself feel better by booing?
Trevor McGill he's somebody's kid.
Doc Rivers out as head coach. The search is on for his replacement.
What you don't want is someone who says, I'm only coming if I have this, or I'm only coming if I have that. You want someone who says, I'm committing to holding people accountable.
It rains a lot in the spring around here, but this seems excessive. Is this worse than usual?
I don't want to start comparing, the scenario we're in right now to last August's flood yet.
The next day.
Inches and inches of rain, flooding streets, shutting down the highway.
Pete Hegseth reportedly quoted a fake Bible verse.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to capture and destroy my brother.
Yeah.
Waukesha police reports a man died by a lightning strike just outside the Quick Trip in Milwaukee.
I'm Judge Lindsay Burnett, and I'd be honored to serve you on the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Already?
Bad news. The fog is getting thicker.
And Leon's getting larger.
I want to issue an apology. I think we've talked about weather at 6:10 every single day this week. But what's happening is what's happening, and that's what's happening.
What a week, eh?
What a week.
A moment, Vince? A moment?
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And that is the Weekend Review, brought to you by brought to you by, I'm having trouble this morning. It's brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. And if you want to hear it again, text the word week to the Siding Unlimited talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Need a little PT for my tongue, I think. All right. It's going to be one of those days, right? We're talking about the tornadoes in the Weekend Review. Well, joining us at 9, TMJ4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano is going to be here, and he's going to break down exactly how many tornadoes we saw and what some of the terminology means. Things like when you hear it's an EF1 or an EF2. What exactly does that mean? We're going to be talking about that in about 30 minutes. Coming up next, okay, you buy your lottery ticket, right? Or you think about dreaming and winning a lottery sometime. Are you aware there are actually scammers out there trying to take advantage of you by saying, you've won money, you've won a lottery? Oh, gosh, it goes on all the time, and we're going to tell you about it right after this on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and maestro of metaphor. What do you have for us today?
Dad, buying a home is a lot like having a baby. And it turns out that in today's extra competitive market, getting real estate pregnant with your offer accepted is the hardest part. So along with your agent, your Accunet loan consultant will do everything possible to get your real estate bun in the oven.
Yep, we can definitely help buyers make their offers more competitive. Okay, so once you've made the real estate baby, so to speak, what else do buyers and their agents want?
As a son, now this is getting gross and I regret the metaphor. But the next thing everyone wants are regular checkups and an on-time delivery. That's where Accunet really shines, with proactive weekly updates to reassure the sometimes nervous homeowners-to-be that everything's okay and on track.
It all starts with a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval, and our home buying clinic is always open. Just click on the blue button at Accunet.com to get started. That's ACCUNET.com.
There I was outside doing some yard work when I noticed my neighbor looking over his windows. He's climbing up and down his ladder, and I hear him holler to his wife, "Honey, we're gonna need a few new windows." So I took a walk over and said, "Hi, Ron, do you mind if I take a look?" He said, "Go right ahead." And I said, the window itself, which is the framework to the glass here, looks fine. And the sill, which is the bottom of the framework, that's fine too. It's the glass that needs replacing. The seal must be broke, and that lets in the moisture we're seeing. That's why your windows are fogging up. And he said, so I don't need new windows? And I said, no, actually, if you want, I can have the glass replaced and they'll basically be as good as new. And believe me, it'll cost you a lot less than replacing these. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
We've all done it. Every time you see one of those lottery prizes go way sky high, we've dreamt about what would I do if I won all that money. But guess what? There are lottery scams out there that you need to be aware of. And joining us on our WTMJ hotline is Michelle Reinen, our consumer expert from DATCAP. And tell us about this scam about a fake lottery prize.
Yes, we've seen a unique twist to the traditional lottery scam that's out there. A consumer received a package that was sent through the United States Postal Service via priority mail, and it required a signature. And the package contained a letter that appeared to be printed on official letterhead from what looked like a legitimate lottery organization. And it claimed the consumer was gifted $1 million as part of a charitable initiative. And all they needed to do to claim the prize was provide personal information.
So what did they do when they received this?
Well, the consumer thought the package might have been from an official source, and so they contemplated pursuing the matter. But when they looked closely at it, they realized they hadn't signed up for any charitable initiative, and the letter had asked them to keep this prize a secret, and the claim was just too good to be true. So they disregarded it, did not contact the scammer, and they did contact Consumer Protection.
All right, so if you're in a position where you might get one of these packages or a letter or even a phone call or a text, what should you do, Michelle?
Well, remember that a consumer can't win a lottery that they didn't enter. Real lotteries don't ask winners to keep things private or secret. And scammers can use consumers' personal information to commit identity theft. So keep all of that front of mind, but then just remember, slow down, because scammers want you to move quickly to claim your prize through these limited time offers. Real prizes are free, so don't pay any money, taxes, shipping, or processing fees, and always investigate before acting. Research online with the name of the company, the prize, or the contest with words like complaint, review, and scam, and call Consumer Protection to inquire about what you've received.
And what is that phone number if we need to reach you, Michelle?
800-422-7128.
We're going to have flurries early, then it's going to get clear and cool. High only of 48 degrees today. Then tonight, clear and cold. Frost is possible. Can you believe that? Down to about 32 degrees. Then tomorrow looks sunny and cool with a high of 54. Monday night, partly clear down to 42 degrees. Tuesday, sunny and milder with a high of 73. Tuesday night, down to 39. And on Wednesday, mostly sunny and mild. Cooler near the lake with a high of 74 degrees. Currently temperatures in Cedarburg are 38. Brookfield's also at 38. In Franklin, you have 39. And at WTMJ, it's 39 degrees at 8:45. Coming up next, Eric Bilstead joins us with an everyday hero who saved a little girl's life. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Remember those old commercials that said, "Hey, you got chocolate in my peanut butter"?
Oh, yeah.
Take that same innovative concept, but replace chocolate with memory foam and peanut butter with Coil Springs. And what do you get?
A weird tasting candy bar?
You get Penny Mustard's exclusive line of double-sided hybrid mattresses.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Just like the perfect mix of chocolate and peanut butter, our double-sided hybrid mattresses combine specialty foam and a supportive coil spring center.
Other mattresses have one or the other, but not both.
The naysayers said, "Nay, you can't create a flippable, breathable, supportive foam mattress."
And we said, "Oh yeah? Watch us."
Penny Mustard's hybrid mattresses are made in Wisconsin and built to last 45% longer than the average unflippable model.
Every mattress is backed by a 1-year comfort guarantee.
And they're 100% chocolate and peanut butter free.
Revolutionary double-sided hybrid mattresses developed by the sleep geniuses at Penny Mustard.
PennyMustard.com.
So, Dad, what gives with the square pizzas?
Well, Marty wanted to be different, but little did he know that he was giving everyone a real value. We figured it out. Our 12-inch square pizza covers 27% more space than a 12-inch round.
A bigger pizza and a better value.
Yep, 27% more.
Marty's Pizza in Delafield.
And martyspizza.net for easy online ordering.
Register online for Red Card Loyalty, and after 15 pizzas, you'll get your next one free!
Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
At 8:47, it's time to recognize another everyday hero. Here's WTMJ's Eric Bilstead.
An everyday hero is when Wisconsin's morning news celebrates an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today we head to Detroit, Michigan, where cashier Abdul Rahman Abu Haytham was working his standard shift at the gas station. In comes a guy along with a teenage girl. They walk up to the cash register and ask for a pack of cigarettes. What happened next was strange to Abdul Rahman. He says the guy asked the girl to pay for the smokes.
When he asked her to pay for the cigarette, I said, stop, there's something wrong.
Speaking with ABC 7 WXYZ there, Abdul Rahman thinks to himself, something isn't right about this. Now, he's behind glass. This is one of those gas stations with the protective barrier, the glass there between the cashier and the customers for safety purposes. He's already thinking something strange. Then he makes eye contact with the teenager.
She talked to me like with no sound, help.
She mouths the word help. So what would you do in this situation? Maybe you call 911 discreetly, and maybe you try to get a good look at the guy, or maybe you try to catch the license plate of the car they were in when they came in. Well, Abdul Rahman decides to leave his protective post. He immediately walks up and gets in between this guy and that girl.
I go out, I kick him out, ask the girl to go behind me.
We do have the surveillance video in the story. Just text the word hero to the Siding Unlimited WDTMJ Talk and text line 855-616-1620. It turns out this girl is a 16-year-old student at Frontier International Academy. 30 minutes earlier, she'd been waiting for the school bus when this guy shows up with a gun and took her.
This is a random incident. That person, a suspect, could have driven anywhere and saw the opportunity and took advantage of it.
It's the police chief there. Officers were already searching everywhere for this girl. They were trying to locate pings on her phone. They were on the case, so they were getting close when Abdul Rahman walked him out of the gas station. That was right when officers were pulling up.
I see the police outside. I point to him. That's the guy.
That guy is now in custody. And it turns out he is not a good dude. He has a bunch of priors, including charges of rape. Now, thankfully arrested, and thankfully the girl is safe. Thank you to Abdul Rahman Abu Haytham. You, sir, are an everyday hero. Everyday Hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WDTMJ News.
What a story. I mean, it kind of takes our breath away, and you think that guy had the guts to leave his protective glass and get out and get between that girl and that guy. Ooh, yeah, definitely. Text the word hero to our Siding Unlimited Talk and text line 855-616-1620 because you will want to see that video. It's 8:51 on WTMJ, and we've got Sandy Mack. She's going to tell us even more about what's going on at the Milwaukee Film Festival. It's all after this on WTMJ. I'm Libby Collins. This week we talk with environmental activist Robin Greenfield.
I looked at all of the stuff in my house and I would ask the question, do I actually use this? And I just consistently would downsize, shed, and let go of stuff. And when I arrived in LA, I gave away everything I own, and I sat naked in Griffith Park until someone lent me a blanket.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Well, if you haven't had a chance yet to see some of those great films that are being shown at the Milwaukee Film Festival, there's still more. And joining us, as always, Sandy Max from What's on Tap. And Sandy, how many more films are yet to be aired? Because they started Thursday night and they are going strong.
All the way through April 30th. This is a solid 2 weeks of films. The total count, 245 films, ranging from feature length to short films. So there are many, many, many options through April 30th. So I'm here to help you make some of your picks. I'm going to share with you now some of the films that I have circled on my calendar that you may be interested as well. Book early. If you hear a title that you like, jump in. It's a great excuse to go to the Oriental Theater, such a beautiful space, the landmark Downer Theater, spend some time watching a movie in a community, and I can just smell the popcorn now. This is such a great reason to go see a film. So these are the ones that I have circled for the upcoming week at the Milwaukee Film Festival. The Big Cheese, which is the centerpiece film. Oh, you want to know about The Big Cheese already?
I do.
The Big Cheese is the festival's centerpiece film. And what do you think it's about?
Well, I'm going to stick my neck out. So it has something to do with cheese.
Absolutely. It is a documentary that follows Adam Moskowitz in the world of international cheesemongering. Now, Adam and his alter ego, Mr. Moo, are the subject of this, and he tries to help an American win this big cheese competition in France called the Mondial du Fromage. And it's a perfect centerpiece film for a film festival centered in Wisconsin. So if The Big Cheese sounds fun to you, the first screening will be on Friday, April 24th at the Oriental Theater. My other pick, Andre is an idiot.
What?
Andre is an idiot.
Okay, and who's Andre?
Andre is a real man who skips his colonoscopy. Hilarity and humanness ensues. Exactly. And it is this really amusing, smart, but serious documentary about preventive care. It won the Sundance Audience Award prize, and it does have comedy in it, but it is that serious public health message. Like, we all know better. We all know we should take care of ourselves. But here we get to follow Andre's journey as he really approaches his finality with humor, but also with curiosity and honesty. So I think Andre is an Idiot is going to be an experience that you will remember. And Tuesday and Thursday is when you can see Andre is an Idiot. It's got a great title.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a memorable title. There's no question about that. Oh, it's going to be more great films all week at the Milwaukee Film Festival. And if you want to find out some of the films that are going to be around the city, how do you get that information, Sandy?
mkefilm.org is the robust website that you can search like 245 films. They have the calendar, you have the options, they have different categories. Cream City Cinema focuses on local filmmakers. They have different categories like Cine de Fronteras for Latin films, Black Lens for African-American films, Genre Queer for LGBTQ plus films, and Cinema Hooligante if you really like to get freaked out films. There is a wide variety. And music is my jam. And there are some fun film opportunities on the music theme, especially if you love local. It's called Bright Beautiful World, The Infectious Joy of Pat McCurdy. He's the subject of a documentary. Because if you think about it, come on, he's been playing around Wisconsin 50 years now, 12,000 performances. Now, the documentary doesn't follow him for all of those, but I know he had the crew around with him last summer. And actually, one of the filming locations was supposed to be the last day of the Wisconsin State Fair, but we got that terrible flooding. So there was no filming on that occasion, but the film is finished. Pat is likely going to be there. The screenings are going to be next Saturday and Sunday at the Oriental Theater, and I think it's going to be a really fun vibe. There'll probably be some singing along, don't you think?
I would hope so. And you are also going to have something special going on during the Milwaukee Film Festival.
I'm excited. I'm coming back to MC the Milwaukee music video show, and it is showcasing 15 different bands with their music videos, which the last time I did it, it was fascinating to meet the artists, but also see the wide range. Some of the music videos are really ambient. Some of them are fun stories. Like, it really does throw you back to the MTV days. And think about it. If you're a local artist, you get to see your music video on the big screen at the Oriental Theater. Like, what a thrill that must be. And some of the artists that are going to be featured: Creature Weather, Fuzzy Surf, Health Club, Hughes Family Band, Me, The Taxmen, and about 10 others. So I really think this is a great celebration and a gathering to bring people together to discover not just cool filmmakers, but new music. So that'll be fun. That's Tuesday, April 28th at the Oriental Theater.
Well, we are looking forward to it. Sandy, tomorrow I'm filling in for you on What's on Tap, and believe it or not, we're going to have an in-studio fashion show with students from MyAd, and it's not going to be your typical fashion. So you definitely want to not just be listening, but you can tune in and watch us too on our live stream at WTMJ.com. But what are you going to do the rest of the week?
You know what? We were just talking about Pat McCurdy. Pat is going to be in the studio with me on the 23rd on Thursday.
Well, we will be listening. Sandy Max from What's on Tap. It's always great to have you here.
Thank you, Libby.
And you know, you can also watch it on YouTube. You can watch this show on YouTube. And tomorrow night, in addition to that fashion show, I mean, we're going to talk more about the Milwaukee Film Fest, including Peter Asher, if you remember him. He's not just going way back. He was in a group called Peter and Gordon back in the 60s, but he has produced some of the biggest hits that you've ever heard on radio. And we're going to talk about the movie about him that's going to be at the Milwaukee Film Fest. We've also got another Film Fest director who's local. She is right here in Milwaukee, and this is another big documentary for her. And Matt Miller is going to join us in studio with his picks for the Milwaukee Film Fest. That's all tomorrow night on What's on Tap, right here on WTMJ. I'm Libby Collins. Coming up after the news, new at 9, we're going to be talking with TMJ4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano about all the storms this past week. How many tornadoes were there totally in Wisconsin? You are going to be surprised by that number. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Have you seen my husband?
No.
My husband is hot.
Okay.
And he just keeps getting hotter and hotter.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What?
But I have good news.
You do?
Hasselus Mattress is home to a variety of cool gel mattresses, including Tempur-Pedic.
No, I mean he's hot.
When he sleeps, I can relate. But our cool gel mattresses sleep an average of 10 degrees cooler than traditional mattresses. So he'll be cool as a cucumber.
Okay, but...
And right now, get 48 months interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic with approved credit.
Well, that's great, but...
Plus, free next-day delivery and setup, free removal of your old mattress, and a $300 MasterCard gift card with your new Tempur-Pedic.
Hold on. You're saying I can cool down with a new Tempur-Pedic with no interest for 48 months and a $300 gift card?
What do you think?
I think that's pretty hot.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com. It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
A new deck from Outdoor Living Unlimited is built to last. We are Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to Outdoor Living Unlimited's Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to outdoorlivingunlimited.com.
From the lakefront to the coastline, the crew rolls into South Beach.
Pitch to Jimenez, hit to left. Lockridge leaping. Did he catch it? Yes! Brandon Lockridge, Spider-Man style in the corner.
The Brewers look to make waves in Miami against the Marlins. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 2:35. We are the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it is 41 degrees here in Milwaukee. Today, flurries early, then clearing and cool with a high of 48, and tonight, a low of 32. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Nazir Spencer. The United States is dialing up the pressure after Iran's latest efforts to close the Strait of Hormuz. News Nation's Robert Sherman. There's a point of emphasis here from American armed forces that they will not be pushed around and not deterred by the latest upping of pressure that we've seen from Iran. After the Strait of Hormuz was supposed to be reopened, according to the foreign minister, they now say it is closed. And the Americans say, well, if that's the case, they're prepared to begin boarding Iranian-linked ships in and around the Strait of Hormuz as well. Another economic pressure mechanism. The British Maritime Trade Operation reports 3 incidents involving ships trying to pass through the strait. 2 said Iran fired on them. The third says a suspicious device was launched and splashed down near the ship. Residents in the Midwest still assessing the damage from this week's crop of storms, which saw more than 50 tornadoes touch down, 15 of those in Illinois, where some towns reported major destruction.
The small town of Lena, a tornado with winds peaking at 130 miles per hour, leaving blocks of this quiet community unrecognizable. Residents waking up to splintered homes, piles of debris, downed trees and power lines. Armola Langi seeing it firsthand and talking with residents who lost it all.
It was very scary because we couldn't see. The rain was coming down so hard I couldn't even see out the windows. So you didn't know what was going on.
One family racing to their basement as the storm hit.
ABC's Morgan Norwood with the story. At least 7 tornadoes have been confirmed in southeast Wisconsin following Friday night's severe storms. According to the National Weather Service, the tornadoes touched down in Walworth, Racine, and Waukesha counties between 6 and 8 p.m. Across the state, even more tornadoes were reported as multiple rounds of severe weather moved through Wisconsin last week. Most of the tornadoes locally were rated EF0 to EF1, with winds reaching up to 100 miles per hour. Damage surveys are still ongoing, and the total numbers could increase. Animal rights activists broke into the Rigland Farms on Saturday morning, one day ahead of what was originally scheduled break-in.
Their goal is to remove 2,000 dogs from the Dane County dog breeding facility. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the protest is, quote, not peaceful, consisting of at least 300 activists using vehicles, break-in tools, and ladders to breach the fence. Deputies have arrested Wayne Husing, the leader of the movement who organized last month's raid that resulted in the removal of 20 dogs. Ridgeland Farms breeds beagles for biomedical research. It's been in business for 60 years. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:04.
Sponsored by Redo Cabinets. Don't replace this spring. Reface.
Kitchen remodeling projects consistently rank as one of the most valuable improvement projects in your home. I'm Mark Olson with Redo Cabinets, here to tell you that we can transform your kitchen into your vision and save you money. Now is a great time to learn about refacing during our spring sales event. During this event at Redo Cabinets, get premium cabinet facings with plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And get free premium countertops with every refacing project. Or payments as low as $195 a month. That's right, $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no-obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 135 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Milwaukee Brewers are on a 4-game win streak, now up 2-0 on the Marlins. They look to close out the series in the final game against Miami with first pitch today at 12:40. The NFL Draft is this week, but with no first-round pick for the Green Bay Packers due to the blockbuster Micah Parsons trade. Instead, they'll pick first with their 52nd overall second-round pick. The draft is on Thursday. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No major issues or delays across your morning commute this morning.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Hurt at work? Call Tayback for the payback. An injury at work may leave you eligible for compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, or a cash settlement. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Here's your WTMJ forecast today. Flurries early, then clearing and cool with a high of 48. And tonight, clear, cold with frost possible and a low of 32. Monday, mostly sunny and cool with a high of 42. Tuesday, mostly sunny and mild with a high of 73. Wednesday, mostly sunny, cooler near the lake and a high of 74. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 41 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 9:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. And now it's time for New at 9.
Well, all of us heard those sirens this week. There were tornadoes, it seems like, everywhere in Wisconsin. But how many were there exactly? Joining us is TMJ4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Jacob, I know you're new to TMJ4, but you've been around Wisconsin for a long time. Welcome to Wisconsin Morning News.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really excited to be starting in Milwaukee. I love Madison too, though. I just love Wisconsin in general. But as you mentioned, a lot of tornadoes, and I grew up in the Chicagoland area, so I've been around this kind of weather, like the Midwest weather, for my entire life, and I don't know if I've really seen a stretch like this around this area. It's been pretty crazy.
Well, I know over the last several days, it seems like we constantly have been getting updates on how many tornadoes there were. And as of today, Sunday morning, from Monday through Friday night, how many tornadoes touched down in the state of Wisconsin?
Well, overall, we've now had 45 tornadoes in Wisconsin, which absolutely shatters the April record already. Now, thankfully, we're going to be in a dry patch. I'll talk about that in a moment. But the 45 tornadoes we've seen this April is actually exceeding the average that we see over the course of the entire year. So that really goes to show you just how unprecedented this stretch has been with the tornadoes. Again, 45 is the number across Wisconsin in April. I don't know what the previous record for April is, but it's a lot lower than that. I think it's less than half of that, actually.
Well, you mentioned the entire season. I mean, usually don't we only get about, 20, 25?
23 is the annual average, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so already that we're at 45. Now, let's talk about southeastern Wisconsin. How many tornadoes did we have in this area?
Well, we had 7, I believe, confirmed Friday night alone, all EF0 and EF1, so that's the slight good news, but that's obviously still enough to produce a lot of damage. Over the course of the month, I believe we've had 14 in the TMJ4 viewing area. The strongest was the one in Sussex and Lisbon last Tuesday, which was an EF2, but there were, I believe, 2 EF3s or maybe 3 in central and northern Wisconsin last week.
All right, now you're mentioning EF zeros, 1, 2, 3. What exactly is an EF? What does that mean?
Well, it basically, EF stands for the Enhanced Fujita Scale. It's called Fujita after Dr. Fujita, who is basically like the father of tornado studies. And it basically describes how strong a tornado is based on damage. And so the reason they base it on damage is because they don't the National Weather Service will go out and survey the areas that we expect a tornado to have fallen, and it's hard to gauge exactly how strong the winds were from radar and data alone. So you use the damage reports as the wind estimation, which is why it's based on damage and not actually winds. And National Weather Service has confirmed 45 across the state of Wisconsin.
Again, that number is just taking my breath away, and I think most of us are pretty shocked by that. We're talking with TMJ4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano. All right, Jacob, what were the circumstances that caused such an unusual weather pattern over multiple days? It wasn't just a one-day thing.
Yeah, just a lot of instability, a lot of moisture. We just continue to have the same type of ingredients where you have strong shear, strong lift, strong moisture, strong instability. We had all of that. And it's kind of leading into the weather this weekend because on Friday it came along with a very strong cold front, and now it feels completely different outside.
Yeah. Where'd the humidity go?
Like I said, basically the cold front completely changed the air mass from a maritime tropical, which is basically warm and high humidity, to a drier and colder air mass, and that's basically what has set in place, at least for this weekend and into tomorrow.
Now, Jacob, we've heard the term tornado alley, and we think of places, strictly plains like Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas, Nebraska. I've never heard Wisconsin being referred to as part of tornado alley. Is this going to change, or is this an anomaly?
Well, I do think the 45 tornadoes is certainly an anomaly, but while Wisconsin isn't technically in tornado alley, we obviously over the course of the last 100 years have gotten tornadoes here. And with climate change, there is, suggestions that tornado alley is expanding, obviously. However, don't expect to see 45 tornadoes every single month, every year.
I hope not. All right. So tornado season lasts from April to about August?
Yeah, but as we've seen, I believe it was 2 years ago, we had the tornado in south central Wisconsin in February. So can never rule it out at any point in the year. But yes, typically we see it around April through August.
I know you talk with a lot of meteorologists. What are you guys saying behind the scenes about what to expect here during this season? If we've already had 45, we're only halfway through April. Are you really concerned that this is going to be a very active season, much the same as when they have hurricanes in the southeast? It seems like some years there's a lot more than others. Do you think that this summer we're going to see more tornadoes than we've ever seen before?
Well, to answer the question, it's the early outlooks actually suggest it will be a little bit of a drier summer. So now that doesn't mean it's going to be. It's just a projection, obviously, but we're kind of entering more of an El Nino pattern. You hear the term all the time, La Nina versus El Nino. And when you get into an El Nino pattern in our area, typically that means warmer and drier summer times, which would obviously lower the chance of the potential for this to continue. But, obviously with what's already happened, at least in the short term, pretty much any chance of severe weather, we're definitely keeping an extra close eye on. And as I mentioned, thankfully we will be in a little bit more of a dry stretch, at least for the next several days.
Okay, so tell us, this week, no more tornadoes?
Well, at least for the next 5 days. There is the chance of storms returns Friday and Saturday. Now, a lot can still change between now and then, but at the moment in time, not looking too closely at it and not, we're not projecting it this far out to be a big severe weather event. Obviously, still 6 days out, 5 or 6 days out. So things could change. But for the next several days, today and tomorrow will continue to be on the cooler side, mostly dry. In fact, this morning, if you look at the current radar, there's actually some light snow in the area.
Oh,
now,
say it isn't so.
Now, this snow is not going to accumulate. It's going to be very light, plus the ground temperatures are above freezing, so it likely will just melt immediately on impact. But don't be surprised if you do see some passing snow showers this morning. Beyond that, pretty dry for the afternoon hours, and then tomorrow will be dry. Highs both days will kind of struggle to reach 50, mostly in the 40s. Then Tuesday, the temperatures really warm up into the lower 70s, and we're going to be very sunny Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday also look to be pretty sunny, maybe the beginning of some storms Thursday night, but it looks like the better chance will be Friday and Saturday. And once we get to Tuesday, it looks like from there going forward, the highs will be back in the 60s and 70s.
TMJ4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Welcome to Milwaukee. Welcome to Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I look forward to talking to you a lot in the future.
Awesome. Sounds great.
All right. It is 9:16 on WTMJ. And coming up next, Debbie Lazaga tells us about those tornado storm chasers. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Thinking of building or remodeling? Then don't miss the Metro Builders Association's free spring tour this weekend. See new homes, condos, subdivisions, and lots all over southeastern Wisconsin from MBA Builders. The MBA spring tour sites will showcase new home building trends and floor plans, energy efficient products, fixtures and appliances, structured wiring, home automation, security systems, and interior design. Don't miss the Metro Builders Association's free spring tour, presented by Nuns this weekend. Visit MBAspringtour.com for locations.
This is Libby Collins. You know, if you've ever talked with anybody who's lost a spouse especially, you know that they kind of look around the house and they make a decision very often that it's just too much for them to have that home anymore. So it means that it's time to sell. Now, thankfully, if you are in that position, or maybe, you know, you just have decided the house is too much for me and for my husband, and we just need to scale back, you want to call my good friends at Bruce's team, because they're here to make this a simple, respectful, and worry-free transition for you. Are you aware that Bruce's team has over 47 years of senior-focused real estate expertise? And during that time, they've sold over 3,000 homes. Now, what does that mean for you? Bruce's team specializes in guiding seniors through smooth, stress-free transitions. They've been doing it so long, and they do it so well, that they were the winner of the 2024 Better Business Bureau Ethics Award. So if it's time for you to make that change where you live, Bruce's team can help you with everything from downsizing support to reliable contractors who can help you get top dollar for your home. And here's the best part. They're going to handle all the details for you, so you receive top value quickly and with ease. So stop worrying. Call Bruce's team today at 262-242-6177. That's 262-242-6177. Or visit brucesteam.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Whoa, when a tornado warning comes across your phone, a lot's already happened behind the scenes. Meteorologists are reading that radar, a storm chaser confirming what's on the ground, and a trained spotter called in damage from a road nobody else is traveling on. Today, we break down who's doing what and why it matters.
Thunder, a rotating wall cloud, a greenish, eerie stillness, and then the sirens. And somewhere out on a 2-lane road is someone driving towards the storm on purpose. Severe weather season is here, and the people tracking these storms from the ground are more organized and more important than you might think. TMJ4's Brian Niznansky says, despite what you might think, chasers and spotters are more alike than they are different.
Both a storm chaser and a storm spotter our eyes on the storm, that meteorologists like myself that could be sitting in a studio, or National Weather Service meteorologists that are in their office, their actual eyes on a storm that can give confirmation of something actually happening.
But there is a distinction. Storm spotters go through official training with the National Weather Service, and Niznansky says that label means something specific.
The biggest differentiator is a storm spotter is going to go through a storm spotter training that is through the National Weather Service. That storm spotter label is specific to that.
Storm chasers, on the other hand, tend to range farther. Scott Weberpaul is an independent storm chaser out of Wisconsin, and he's been doing this for more than 2 decades.
Spotters are generally folks who will stay within a specific radius of home, say 10, 20 miles, and will simply report, to the National Weather Service, local TV stations, etc., what the weather is at their specific location.
So why do we still need human eyes out there? Niznansky says radar has its limits.
It makes it a lot easier to confirm a tornado if you have definite eyes on it. But if no one saw it and you just have a bunch of tree damage, sometimes it can be difficult to say this was a tornado or it wasn't.
That ground truth, as chasers call it, can mean the difference between a vague radar alert and a confirmed urgent warning. Obviously, chasing isn't without its hazards, and Weberpaul knows that personally. On August 18th, 2005, the day an EF3 tornado hit Stoughton, he found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I was driving south on Highway 12, trying to get out of the rain and hail and precip part of the storm, and I inadvertently drove almost right into the tornado itself. Probably got into some 90 to 100 mile an hour winds on the northern periphery of the tornado. I'm 45 years old. I've got 3 kids. I've got a wife, and those are all things I have to keep in my mind and tell myself that, this is kind of my limit right here.
Niznansky says sometimes the most valuable call is the all clear.
And you know what? If that tornado isn't touching down, that's just as valuable too. Because one of the last things we like to do is give the same weight to a tornado warning when you have a scenario where there might be a tornado, we're kind of seeing something on radar, but we have confirmation that nothing is touching down, versus, oh my goodness, there is a tornado on the ground and it's heading for Fort Atkinson.
Storm spotter training sessions are happening across southeast Wisconsin over the next several weeks. Anyone can participate. For dates and locations near you, check with the National Weather Service, and we've got you covered with the link on WTMJ.com. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it all when you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Today we're talking to Cindy Robinson, SVP of Sales and Marketing with Capri Communities, who is here to share with us the benefits of moving into a senior living community during the spring season. Welcome to the show, Cindy.
Thank you for having me.
So, for seniors who are considering this type of living transition, why is spring a good time?
Well, as we all know, spring is the best time to make a move because all the buyers are out there looking for new homes. So it's a great time to start getting ready. Making a move earlier in the year is actually a really good thing, not only for the senior, but for the people that are supporting them with making this move. So thinking of their adult children, grandchildren, things like that, people are more likely to be available to you to help you with those moves and making those decisions. So we find in the springtime is the best time because you're not going to be bumping up against major holidays. You're not going to be bumping up against people transitioning back to school. So you've got your strong grandsons and granddaughters out there helping you downsize and hauling out your stuff. You just have more support around you during the springtime. So it's a great opportunity to take advantage of early, beautiful Wisconsin weather, as well as just making sure that your family's available to you to help you make these decisions and help you move forward with that move.
That makes a lot of sense. And so, what can a senior look forward to with a springtime move?
What can they look forward to? Well, they can look forward to a hot sales market, so your house won't be sitting in the market for too long. It's a great time to get out. It's warm weather, and it's a good time to go see what the different senior housing companies have to offer in terms of location, amenities, services. And because it's a warmer weather period, they're going to be able to take their time and make those really important decisions in a more relaxed environment.
Yeah, because looking around in the winter,
it's hard.
It's hard. It's like you just want to be home. You want to be hibernating. You do not want to be house hunting.
Right.
So when it comes to looking for the next place and taking advantage of the spring weather, are there other reasons that people would want to move out in the spring?
I think related to senior living and specifically, I think it's a great time to make the senior move because there's a lot of opportunities for them to work with specialized service companies that help a senior make that decision to make that move. One thing I think a lot of people don't take into consideration, especially as they're older, is how emotional it can be to move. And so you really want to surround yourself with people that understand the emotional ties that somebody has to a home that they've lived in, for over 30 years in many cases. And so there are realtors that are specialized in this type of move. They're called seniors real estate specialist. I want to make sure I got that right.
Senior real estate specialist. That's very practical and descriptive.
Right. What a realtor does is takes some classes and learns about the emotional well-being of a senior, having them work with them through this journey. And so they have a network of people that can actually help the senior, not with just putting their house up for sale, but getting it ready to downsizing, getting rid of the stuff that is no longer needed, preserving memories. A lot of the times we're tethered to our memories at a home. And so it doesn't mean that you have to leave those things behind. There's different ways to bring them with you, whether that's through photographs, picking the right location that you can work with a specialist that picks the most important pieces of your home and your memories, and then helping you make that transition along with those belongings. So it's a great time to remove and release yourself from the things that don't really matter, but bring forward things that do. And so the springtime is always a really comfortable time. Spring is in the air. People are ready for change.
It's spring cleaning, right? That's that itch that we get in our cycle, right?
Right.
It's feeling like it's time to refresh and renew and move on.
Especially people in Wisconsin, right? Spring is that is the best time of year. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. Everyone's feeling good, and it's just a really comfortable time to make the transition.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Capri's Enjoy Life program?
So at Capri Communities, our Enjoy Life programming encompasses our tagline, Enjoy Life. So we really try to focus on what our residents desire to do.
And that could be anything from clubs within our community, sheep's head clubs, mahjong clubs.
It's a hot new game.
It's a very hot new game. We've got a community that does
not new, but
yeah,
old new game.
Old new game. Pickleball, bocce ball. One of our communities has a swimming pool, and a lot of the residents from other communities go to that swimming pool for their exercise. So we don't. When I talk to people about senior living, I have to remind them that once they move into a community, doesn't mean that we lock the door behind you. We're going to open up more new possibilities. So someone who's living in a home by themselves, with or without a spouse, might be a little more isolated. But when they move into a senior community, making that transition in the springtime especially, you're going to be able to take much more advantage of all the fun things that are happening in a Wisconsin spring and in a Wisconsin summer, and then continue that journey into the winter months now that you've got new friends and have settled into your new home.
Wonderful. All right, so people who are interested in maybe making a spring move, what information would you give them, or where should they go?
Well, they can always visit Capri and talk to one of our salespeople who are very well versed in knowing the local realtors in the area and other, what we had talked about earlier, other resources for those people. When you're looking to downsize junk places, all those different services that people have available to them but may not be aware of it. Some of our full service movers where they're going to come in and they're going to help you downsize. The first step, I think, is making the decision that, yes, I want to go look for a new home. What does that look like to me? What do I want? Do I want a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom? Do I want a cottage home? Whatever you're looking for in senior living, you will find in Wisconsin. So then once you've made that decision, it's really getting ready for that emotional journey of downsizing, getting rid of the stuff, and then moving forward with the move.
All right. And what's the website for Capri?
CapriCommunities.com.
Perfect. All right. Cindy Robinson, SVP of Sales and Marketing with Capri Communities. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This has been the Sunday Sip.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
We'll make your ads potent, memorable, and effective. Whether it's radio, TV, billboards, or digital, our understanding of the market and long-standing relationships are unmatched. Anderson Smith represents a substantial amount of advertising billing, which will benefit you in getting much more for your ad dollar. Our compensation model is designed to make it affordable for businesses like yours to use us. And we hold on to our clients because what we do works, and they trust us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Too many times was I told, just go out there and sell something. Too many times did an advertiser buy just one package only to be disappointed. I'll give it a try, they said. I was just doing my job until I realized that job set a lot of people up for advertising failure. So we started Anderson Smith, and since then, we've retained many clients for over a decade and have been a valuable asset to their business because we're helping them rather than just selling them. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
All right, we're at 9:33, and we have Nazir Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center. And Nazir, a fatal shooting last night. Tell us about it.
Yes, thank you, Libby. A 28-year-old is dead after a shooting on Milwaukee's South Side. According to the Milwaukee Police Department, it happened around 1:40 this morning near 13th and Burnham. The victim was shot and pronounced dead at the scene, and suspects are still being searched for as the investigation is ongoing. At least 7 tornadoes have been confirmed in southeast Wisconsin following Friday night's severe storms. According to the National Weather Service, the tornadoes touched down in Walworth, Racine, and Waukesha counties between 6 and 8 p.m. Across the state, even more tornadoes were reported as multiple rounds of severe weather moved through Wisconsin last week. Most of the tornadoes locally were rated EF0 to EF1 with winds reaching up to 100 miles per hour. Overall in Wisconsin, the tornado count has gone up to 45 in the month of April. Planning ahead for future flood events in the Milwaukee area is the focus of a newly created joint task force. The effort, announced Friday between the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, and the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage district will explore options for investing in more flood-resistant infrastructure. The group will hold its first meeting in the coming days and anticipates producing recommendations later this year. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. No major issues or delays. Full freeway speeds across the system.
Traffic is sponsored by Angela Calais and Benefit Realty.
At Benefit Realty, pay only 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission and get all the service that you should. Benefit Realty, you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
Here's your WTMJ forecast today. Flurries early, then clearing and cool with a high of 48. And tonight, clear, cold with possible frost and a low of 32. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 42 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:35.
Nazir, you've only been out of college, what, a couple of years?
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Were you ready financially when you graduated?
No, not exactly. Like, I was okay.
Yeah, but I mean, was it a little bit of culture shock to you when you got the full-time job and had to pay your own bills?
Yeah. It was a little bit different. I live I live with my roommates in college, but it was different, living alone and stuff like that for sure.
It's time to be in the real world.
Yeah, grow up a little bit, right?
All right, well, we've got some tips for all those new college grads, how to keep their finances in shape. It's coming up right after this on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
There are over 700,000 people in the Wisconsin retirement system, from the entire UW system to local police, firefighters, and publicly employed teachers. A powerful program, but you might have questions. Join Annex Wealth Management on Thursday, April 23rd at 1 p.m. for a free webinar. WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and experts from Annex will explore scenarios and answer your WRS questions live. No sales pressure, just education. Understand your WRS potential. Thursday, April 23rd at 1 p.m. Click events at annexwealth.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a ball.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Your email said you had a big surprise.
Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Ever more.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $1498 with 1 carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
And welcome back to the final half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. It's 9:38, and I'm Libby Collins. There's a lot of excitement this year for college graduates, but guess what? There's something they may not be thinking of beyond getting that diploma. And that's because they got to deal with the financial realities of the world. Well, joining us on our WTMJ hotline is Tim McKay. He is the CEO of Landmark Credit Union, and we're going to get some of those college grads ready for living in the real world, Tim. Things have changed a bit since you and I graduated from college. It's a lot more challenging for people.
While the future is bright, it isn't always easy, especially getting started after graduating from college. It is difficult. While it's an exciting time and lots of changes coming, I think prioritizing finances for college graduates can set them apart and set them up for a really bright future.
What is it that you wish that you had known when you first graduated from college?
Oh my goodness, so much, Libby. I think first and foremost, the importance of a budget. I just can't emphasize that enough. Things that I think about today some tools that I wish I would have had, common budgeting techniques like a 50-30-20 rule, which is not gross income, but when you think about your net income, what is actually coming to you, 50% of that should go towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and then 20% towards your savings. And that savings is so important to help you, your future self down the road.
I remember when my son graduated from college, that was the first thing I said to him. Even if it's just $1 a week, put something aside. Get into that habit of saving money for the future. Where do you suggest college grads begin? Because they're dealing with a lot. They've maybe are on their own without mom and dad paying their bills for the first time. They've got student loans in a lot of cases. They've got to take care of their own cars and buy their own food. How do they, on a limited new grad salary, save money as well?
Your advice is spot on. What I often say, for a lot of us, all stages of life, but it's the start that stops most of us. So to your point, Libby, start. When we have young professionals or those starting off in the work, we certainly want to encourage them to build an emergency fund, start setting aside some of that money for those things that come up. So having that emergency fund is important, and certainly you want to save that 3 to 6 months, but that takes time. While you're building that, we want you to think about your future self. We want you to think about that 401k. If your employer offers a 401k, certainly sign up right away on day one and participate in that. So it is an and world. We want you to think about short-term savings and that long-term savings, and getting started right away is important. And the tool that's so important is automate that savings right away. Make sure that it is just automatically happening. You don't have to think about it. It's already taken care of.
We're talking with Tim McKay from the Landmark Credit Union about financial things that college grads need to know. Big question, credit cards. How many young people may be getting their first credit card? What do they need to know about being responsible?
Credit cards can be such a valuable tool, but it is also one of those tools that get us into trouble. As you contemplate a credit card, don't be tempted by those, all those offers and promotions that you receive. Really look at the credit card and make sure it really fits the benefits that you ultimately need. And use that credit card in a way that you know that at the end of the month or when that credit card comes due that you can pay it in full. Certainly there are times, unexpected things, that maybe we need to make some payments, but the quicker you pay off that credit card, those credit cards can have some quite high rates. Be cautious. You don't need 5 credit cards, by the way. 1, maybe 2, but be cautious as you use that.
Finally, Tim, what about emergencies? How many young people are really prepared to handle one financially?
Yeah, unfortunately, the numbers are really, really low. And to really think about that emergency fund. So again, setting aside money for those unexpected things that just happen in life. And so building that, and if you can over time, and it doesn't need to be done right away, but start to build up that 3 to 6 months of savings so those unexpected things can help you.
It's 9:43, it's 40 degrees. We're only going to get up to about 48 today. You can feel it. It's chilly out there. I got the old winter coat out. Coming up next, one of the most unusual guests I have ever had on Conversations. It's going to be featured this morning. I'll introduce you to him right after this on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Save big money in your next outdoor project when you shop at Menards. Pittsburgh's Ultra Advanced Semi-Transparent Exterior Stain and Sealant in 1 can be applied to damp wood, allowing you to clean the surface and stain in 1 day. Save big on Ultra Advanced Wood Stain today. View our entire selection of stain and accessories on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer to find all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Can it get any easier? I don't think so. James, you can get an online order done at martyspizza.net in 30 seconds.
And we've made it easy to order all the favorites that a lot of Marty's Pizza lovers gotta have.
Our classic sausage and pepperoni pizza or lasagna and masticholi entrees. They're all delicious. Marty's Pizza in Delafield and martyspizza.net for easy online ordering.
Register online for Red Card Loyalty, and after 15 pizzas, you'll get your next one free!
Marty's Pizza.
Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
Want to stay up to date with the crew?
McGill straightens up and throws. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Tune in to Brewers Extra Innings with Dominic Cotroneo after every game.
Then all of a sudden, all right, no, it's going to be Uribe. Oh, no, it's going to be McGill. Or no, it's going to be Serpa. And those guys have got to be already hanging here in April. The offense is just as much to the blame as far as the bullpen struggles at this point in the year.
Or listen anytime on the Brewers All Access podcast feed. We are your home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Love this song. That's a good one, Isaac. Keep that in the rotation. Wednesday is Earth Day, and that's when our thoughts turn to saving the planet. I spoke with environmentalist Robin Greenfield about his personal quest to getting close to nature. He forages for food and all those other things he's given up just to call attention to his mission, including hygiene.
I just looked at everything I was doing. I analyzed every facet of my life, which you can't do in a day. This is days, weeks, months, and multiple years. It was my full-time job to transform my life.
What did you give up first?
Well, I remember just looking at the plastic Tupperware containers in my kitchen, a lot of the plastic wrapped foods. I started to buy less packaged foods. There was a food co-op in San Diego. I started to go there. I started to ride my bike more and drive the car less. I looked at all of the stuff in my house and I would ask the question, do I actually use this? Does this bring real value to my life? And I just consistently would downsize, shed, and let go of stuff, including my Old Spice deodorant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did. I actually spent an entire hour in a tiny studio with Robin Greenfield. And he's actually quite fascinating. He makes all his own clothing, including his shoes. Now, think about it. They're not like shoes that you and I wear. They are interesting. And, the good news was, at least that day, he was wearing clothes. Let's go back to when you decided to live off the grid. You were in the tiny house, but you decided to even give up your tiny house, and you lived in a park?
When I arrived in LA, I gave away everything I owned. I literally mean every physical possession that I had. And I sat naked in Griffith Park until someone lent me a blanket to cover up with.
You just sat down in a public park? Were you afraid of getting arrested?
A little bit. It would have been a bit of a nuisance. However, I do have a lot of privilege that I don't have to be concerned about this. But for me, being in jail would be a great opportunity to practice non-attachment and living simply and just being outside of my control and comfort zone.
Robin Greenfield is one of the most unconventional people you could ever meet. But he is very sincere. He really is. I mean, when he was here in the studio, he actually brought in jars of all the food he forages for. And when I say forage, he actually forages for it. He talks to me today at 11 o'clock about his headline-making experiences. Now, he mentioned about sitting in a park in L.A. without clothes. He also dressed up in his own trash for 30 days and walked around New York City. I mean, this guy, he's been written up in People. He's really interesting. You want to hear this interview. It's this morning at 11 o'clock on WTMJ Conversations. 9:49 and 40 degrees at WTMJ.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
The new Russell apartment sofa is Penny Mustard's greatest optical illusion.
How so?
The Russell appears to be the perfect pint-sized sofa to fit any small living space.
Yeah?
But behold, the three of us can comfortably sit together without feeling cramped.
No way.
Try it.
Okay.
See?
Wow, you're right.
Seeing is believing.
You know this is radio, right?
Just squint your ears, you'll see it.
The new Russell apartment sofa, starting at $20.81 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Burke here for Griffin Ford in Waukesha. You know, I always tell people if you're even thinking about a vehicle, you got to stop by Griffin Ford. They make it easy. They've got the greatest selection, the best service, sales staff that won't pressure you. It's just easy. And right now, over 250 new Fords in stock, plus hundreds of pre-owned certified vehicles. They've all been checked out. Whether it's the fuel-efficient Maverick, the family-ready Explorer, which I love, or the legendary F-150, America's best-selling truck for over 49 straight years, they've got it at Griffin Ford in Waukesha. And I love that they offer every powertrain option, gas, diesel, hybrid, even electric, and they've got retired service loaner vehicles right now, so you get a nearly new car at a used car price. And don't forget, Griffin Ford wants to buy your car. Bring it in for a no-cost appraisal. It's easy. They're paying top dollar right now. Located at 1940 East Main Street in Waukesha, it's my place. Griffin Ford, huge selection, great people, a dealership I trust.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, a confirmed EF2 tornado in Waukesha County. National Weather Service confirms a touchdown in the town of Lisbon in northern Waukesha County.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m.
Discussions continue with state Republicans over a tax relief package. Governor Tony Evers and GOP leaders want to use some of the state's budget surplus to help lower property taxes.
Only on WTMJ. WTMJ W277CV and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Welcome to the Sunday Sip. I am host Steve Scafidi. Today we're going to talk about something I love, and that's the Salute to Service. Our great partner for Salute to Service for many years has been Waterstone Bank, and we are joined by Bill Bruss, President and CEO of Waterstone Bank. Good morning, Bill.
Morning, Steve. Thanks for having me.
I love the relationship we've had with Waterstone Bank, and I certainly love doing the Salute to Service. I always ask this question right out of the gates. Why does Waterstone Bank partner with us for Salute to Service? What's your commitment there?
Well, Steve, we're a community bank, and, a little bit selfishly, the strong, stable, vibrant communities really make the banking part a lot easier. But supporting things that enrich and develop our communities is a commitment and passion that we've had for a number of years. When we talk specifically about Salute to Service, the first responders really are the backbone of our neighborhoods, providing the safety, the security, and the stability that these communities need to thrive and flourish. We recognize the vital role that the local heroes play, and partnering with WTMJ and Salute to Service is just a great opportunity for us to support our local first responders and reflects the importance that we hold in the role that they play.
And for those listening out there this morning, our nomination process is open. So if you go to WTMJ.com, you just click on the Salute to Service banner, you can submit a nomination. All I really need is name, maybe departments, a contact number or email, and tell us the story in a couple paragraphs or less. So I love the fact, Bill, that you use the term community, because any of us who bank, whatever bank you belong to, whatever bank you use, the branches touch the community in every city they're in, right?
Oh, absolutely. We are the banks that are, whether it's Waterstone or another community bank, we're the banks that are providing you the financing for your homes, the safe places to save and invest your money. And other banks like us are giving back to the communities as well.
One of the things I've talked about in previous years, and Waterstone Bank has joined us for Salute to Service, is the Heroes program. Explain it to folks and tell them a little bit about how they can get involved.
Yeah, the Hero program is a checking account program that we offer to first responders. It's a program that's specifically tailored to them and to healthcare professionals, and it provides the typical financial security you'd expect with a banking relationship, as well as more convenient banking solutions. There's a large range of benefits that we offer through that program, including things like no-fee ATM transactions, seamless overdraft protection transfers, complimentary money orders and checks, and a whole host of other benefits as well.
We're talking on the Sunday Sip with Bill Bruss, President and CEO of Waterstone Bank. I know you guys do a lot more than just the Heroes program and our help on Salute to Service. Talk about some of those things that you do. I know National Night Out is part of the plan of action.
It's a big one. We support National Nights Out in all the communities that we are in. Our primary focuses through our charitable giving and through our volunteerism are focused around community development, education, support for women and children, veterans initiatives, and of course, our first responders and healthcare professionals. You know, we have supported things from the community baby shower to organizations like Sojourner Family Peace Center and Children's Hospital, and of course the Milwaukee Air and Water Show, which we have coming up this summer.
Want to always give our friends at Waterstone Bank a chance to give a personal message to the heroes that we bring forward in the Salute to Service. So give us your personal message as President and CEO of Waterstone Bank.
Well, we're grateful to all the heroes in our community who keep us safe and healthy every day. Their selfless dedication, their unwavering commitment to making our neighborhoods safer, stronger, and our futures brighter is essential to the strength of these communities, and we thank them for their service, their sacrifice, their courage. They're the heartbeat of our community, and we're grateful for everything they do.
Bill, I love Waterstone Bank. I love working at Waterstone Bank. It's not just about Salute to Service, and I know that you guys have a tremendous community involvement, but if folks want to find out more about Waterstone Bank and what you can do when it comes to financing people's future homes, some of the ventures they do in their lives, how can they find out more about Waterstone Bank?
Well, the first stop might be our website, which is wsbonline.com. We're also in 14 offices throughout Milwaukee County, Waukesha County, and Waukesha County. They can also get in touch through our website with our charitable foundation to identify opportunities where we might support other community initiatives.
It's called Salute to Service. Our partners, our great partners, Waterstone Bank. Bill Bruss has joined us on the Sunday Sip. If you want to find out more, go to WTMJ.com, click on the Salute to Service banner. Bill Bruss, thanks for taking the time on the Sunday Sip.
Thank you, Steve. Very glad to be with you.
This has been the Sunday Sip on WTMJ.
Thanks a lot, Steve. It has been quite a week weather-wise. Lots of changes from rain to tornadoes to really, really summer-like temperatures. But today's completely different. We're only going to get up to 48 degrees today. We're at 46 right now. I'm Libby Collins. Thank you so much for joining us today. Stick around after the news. Adam Roberts is going to be in with Reporter's Notebook, and he's going to tell you how anyone can make a FOIA request for public records. He'll break that down. And then I'm going to be back at 11 with one of the most unique people you could ever meet, environmentalist Robin Greenfield, on WTMJ Conversations.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, to tasteful home decor